I was told to deliver this message. You think you're invincible because you got money, bombs, guns, and planes, killing babies, innocent people. I think you're insane. Chaos and destruction is the name of your game. Somebody's got to stop you before the whole world goes up in flames. So he told me to tell you, I'll
fight for my brothers. We can go to war. Fighting for my father, I will give my life for. I feel so alone in this white man's world. Whip it in the kitchen, watch that white turn pearl. Standing on the corner, standing on my phone. Standing with my gangsters, but I'm standing on my own. If you got to be his own, split you like you did alone. Sacrifice my life, understanding each his own. Toast to the keys of success. Bel Air rose on my breath. I've been a student since '03, and we can fight till we see peace.
I fight like that. 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 I fight like that.
Let me holler at you for a minute, give you game. Real scrappy, love the bottom, Buddha bang. Trigger happy, and everybody in the game. You shot your family and didn't even know it, man. Same rules, same code, with a different slang. Struck him out, and now they took him out the picture frame. Mama, don't cry, we gon' get by. 2 weeks later, got killed in a drive. Go why? Must we fight amongst each other? Reach one, each one, teach one, my brother. I teach them how to fight on the grass and in the class. Snoop Dogg, all stars, yes sir, they coming fast. D1, football, we won. Now proud of my son, Lil Snoop, yes sir, cause he won. Right on, SC, fight on. We 100, keep it coming, dip, slip, slide on, light on.
I fight like that. 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 I fight like that.
Watching the warriors, the story of the rebels. You from the ghetto, did you know never to settle? I'm shooting common on the streets, I'm a pharaoh. Battling in African-American apparel. This on a t-shirt, youngins doing street work. Grinding till they teeth hurt, that's because they need work. Working till the feet hurt, trying to get my soul right. Used to be on old bikes, serving them that cold white. Wars in the winters, the block is hot in summers. Today's mathematics, we know it's strength in numbers. To the bosses and the runners, the hustlers and the stunners. We fight for the hundreds, we fight for the oneness.
He fights with the heat. He fights with the sleet. He said, I am who I am. I can't be beat. Nobody has won a war against me.
I fight like that. 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 I fight.
All of the nations of the earth as we speak are angry. They're angry because governments cannot suffice the needs of their people. They're angry because a few have gotten wealthy at the expense of the many. And the poor and the sick and the weak and the unlearned multiply. And the value of their lives are diminished by the rich and the powerful. So that when human life is devalued, that in the eyes of man you are unworthy of the gift of life, then it is easy for another human being, to take the life of another human being that he or she has devalued. Black life in America is devalued. Hispanic life is devalued. Even poor white life is devalued. There's a way that I have to behave. I'm free, but I'm not free to rob you of yours. I'm not free to take from you what does not belong to me. So if I will construct my life according to these righteous principles, then between man and man, man and woman, peace. Between race and race, peace. Between rich and poor, peace. We have our beautiful Mexican family. This once was theirs. So you can't say to them they are aliens. That's a horrible word to use for former owners. I see my indigenous family here. Many tribes, but they're really one great nation of people that now must be reunited with themselves. So it's their time now, as well as ours, that God would intervene in our affairs and bring the bottom rail to the top. The government is not rehabilitating soldiers. When they send you away to kill. When you come home, they gotta reconstitute you for civilian life again. Make sure you have a job so you can take care of your family, but they're not doing it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, a woman can do anything that a man does, and the only thing he forbids the woman to do is the thing that degrades her. So how high can you go? High as you want to. Why would God allow the female to wear his attributes if you can't be a manifestation of that attribute? Women, you got to be set free. What God has put within you must be cultivated, must be developed, and must be used for the advancement of a nation and a world. I said to myself, Mr. President, why the hell don't you go to the wicked police department? Why the hell don't you stand up and tell them that your killing of black youth and brown youth is not gonna hold no more? Why don't you stand up? God's word is in need of a truth that will set up a government where everybody can live in peace, under real freedom, real justice, and real equality.
What I'd like for you to do right now, I want you to think about your dream, because I'm in a room full of dreamers. Think about your dream right now. I want you to think about it and envision it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me share something with you. I do not believe that any of us have dreams that were not given to us for the purpose of accomplishing those particular dreams. And I want to share something with you that has changed my life. I started out, as was indicated by Jack, it's very humble beginnings. I don't know what that dream is that you have. I don't care how far-fetched it might appear to be. I don't care how disappointing it might have been as you've been working toward that dream. But here's what I know, that that dream that you're holding in your mind, that it's possible. Let's say that together, please. Say, it's possible. See, sometimes we can't say, I can do that. But what we can say, that it's possible that I can have my dream. As we run toward it, as we work on it day in and day out. No one, ladies and gentlemen, could have convinced me when I started out just over 6 years ago, working on my dream. And I want you to think about whatever your dream is, because I was willing to take a chance. And most people won't do that. Most of the people that you talk to try and bring them into the business, these are not risk takers. Most people have done all that they're ever going to do. They raise a family, they earn a living, and then they die. But people who are running toward their dreams, life has a special kind of meaning. And here's what I will share with you, that in the process of working on your dreams, you are going to incur a lot of disappointment, a lot of failure, a lot of pain, a lot of setbacks, a lot of defeats. But in the process of doing that, you will discover some things about yourself that you don't know right now. What you will realize is that you have greatness within you. What you'll realize is that you're more powerful than you can ever begin to imagine. What you will realize is that you're greater than your circumstances, that you don't have to go through life being a victim. As Jack indicated, I was born in Miami, Florida, in an area called Liberty City, in an abandoned building on a hard linoleum floor with my twin brother. We were 6 weeks of age. We were adopted. When I was in 5th grade, I was identified as EMR, labeled educable, mentally retarded, put back from the 5th grade into the 4th grade, and stayed in that category until I got out of high school. I don't have any college training, but I met a high school teacher who one day changed my life. I was waiting on another student, and when he came in, he said to me, young man, go to the board and write what I'm about to tell you. And I said, I can't do that, sir. He said, why not? I said, I'm not one of your students. He said, it doesn't matter. Follow my directions now. I said, I can't do that, sir. He said, why not? I said, because I'm educable, mentally retarded. And he came from behind his desk and he looked at me. He said, don't ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And that man, Mr. Leroy Washington, did something for me. He started planting seeds in my mind that enabled me to begin to dream, as Dexter has been doing for you. And ladies and gentlemen, I started working on my dream. And most people don't work on their dreams. Why? For many years, I didn't. One is because of fear, the fear of failure. What if things don't work out? And the fear of success. What if they do and I can't handle it? The other thing is that most people, ladies and gentlemen, they get comfortable. They stop growing, they stop working on themselves, they stop stretching, they stop pushing themselves, and they end up becoming very cynical about life, and they throw in the towel on themselves and on their families and on their dreams. And the other thing is that most people don't feel worthy. What I'm doing now, I could have been doing years ago. But because I did not have a college education, because I didn't believe in myself, Because I allowed other people's opinion of me to control my destiny, I didn't act on my ideas. So I applaud you for your dreaming, for your running toward your dream. I applaud you for believing in yourself, because that's what life is about, stretching and challenging, looking for ways that you can begin to improve yourself. And ladies and gentlemen, as a result of stretching out, of acting on my dream, and I don't know what that dream is for you, I can tell you that it's possible. No one could have convinced me that after just over 6 years, I will have my own book entitled Live Your Dreams. Just over 6 years, I would have 5 specials on public television. Just over 6 years, I've done motivational speaking for AT&T, Procter & Gamble, McDonald's Corporation, Xerox, IBM. Just over 6 years. I will now have my own talk show that will premiere on Monday, Labor Day. I'm saying to you, your dream is possible. Your dream is possible. But not only is it important that you believe and begin to know that it's possible for you to live your dream as you run toward it, but I've done something that I want to share with you called Choosing Your Future. In fact, I've developed a set of tapes talking about how to begin to create your own reality by choosing your future. And not only is it important for you to know it's possible for you to choose your future, but it's necessary that you work on yourself, that you develop yourself. It's necessary that you get the energy drainers out of your life, people who don't want anything, people who are not striving, people who are not challenging themselves, people who aren't growing, people who have stopped dreaming. It's necessary that you align yourself with people and attract people into your business who are hungry, people who are unstoppable and unreasonable, people who are refusing to leave life just as it is and who want more. My mother used to say, birds of a feather flock together. If you run around with losers, you will end up a loser. It's necessary that you get the losers out of your life if you want to live your dream. It's necessary to know that everybody won't see it, that everybody won't join you, that everybody won't have the vision. It's necessary to know that a lot of people like to complain, but they don't want to do anything about their situation, that you are an uncommon breed. You know, you have to know within yourself that I can do this. Even if no one else sees it for me, I must see it for myself. That's necessary. It's also, ladies and gentlemen, necessary that you be creative when you're working on your ideas, that you understand the importance of changing up, of readjusting your strategies. Many times we can have a great idea, but if you're not advancing it in the right way and things don't happen, you become discouraged and think the idea doesn't work. No, that's not true. It's necessary that we become creative. I remember when I was in New York walking down the street and a guy approached me and said, "Hey, mister, can I shine your shoes?" And I said, "No, I'm in a hurry. I don't have time." I kept walking. Someone else said, "Hey, man, your shoes look clutty. May I shine your shoes?" I said, "No, I don't have time. I'm sorry, I'm busy." And I was walking fast, and many people solicited me for my business. And then finally, a young man stepped in front of me, and he said, "Excuse me." And he started counting, 97, 98, 99, 100. He said, "Sir?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Come here, please." I said, "What is it?" He said, "Today is my birthday. And every year, just to thank God for another year of life, the 100th person who passes my shoe shine stand, I offer them a free shoe shine. Would you give me the honors?" I said, "Why, sure." I got up on the shoe shine stand, George, and I sat there and he shined my shoes diligently. And when I got down, I looked at them, they were sparkling. And I was walking away and I said, "Thank you." And I stopped, I said, "Excuse me, but how much do you usually charge?" He said, "Only $2. I said, "I tell you what, today's your birthday. Here's $5, keep the change." He said, "Thank you." As I was walking away, looking in the opposite direction at other people coming, he started counting again. 97, 98, 99, 100. It's necessary that you be flexible, that you are always thinking of how can I improve this better. This is a customer-driven economy. It's necessary for you to always explore various ways in which you can improve the quality of service that you're providing for the people in your organization. I remember something a major company had talked about, the extra value service they were providing for their customers. And the lady who had the news conference summarized it this way. She said, "It's not our intention to satisfy our customers or to please our customers. Our intention is to amaze them." It's necessary, if you're going to compete today, that you look for ways to amaze your customers by being one of those individuals that keep your commitments, that keep your word, that's relentless. It's necessary as you work with the people that you bring into your organization, that they see that you are a good example of a person to work with, because you model integrity and determination and ambition and truth and honesty and the way in which you conduct business. The next step is, that is you. That is you. That no one can do it for you but you. And even though you face disappointments, even though you will experience some setbacks, it goes with the territory. You must understand that. I remember I was playing a game with my 9-year-old son, John Leslie, and I beat him 10 straight games in a game called Connect Four. And finally, I said, "John Leslie, I'm bored. I don't want to play you anymore." And I got up. I said, "I'm ready to go to sleep now." And repeat after me, please. Let's say this together. It's not over until I win. John Leslie said, "No, you can't go now, Dad." I said, "Why?" He said, "It's not over until I win." That was his attitude. We sat down and we played several other games. And finally, after the 11th game, John Leslie won, and he got up and he yawned. And he said, "I'm ready to go to sleep now." And I'm saying to you, what if all of us took that attitude after we face a rejection and a no, or we have a meeting and no one shows up, or somebody say, "You can count on me," and they don't come through? What if we have that kind of attitude? The car's repossessed. Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day, and say to yourself, "It's not over until I win." Life will yield to you. Now here's the next step. Repeat after me, please. It's possible. I can live my dream. It's necessary. I work on myself. Surround myself with winners. Become creative. It's me. I've got to make it happen. It's not over until I win. The next thing that's important to know, yes, it's possible that you can choose your future and direct the course of your life as you run toward your dream. It's necessary that you have goals, that you write those goals down, that you plan, that you think constantly of how you can begin to improve what it is that you're doing. If it's your presentations, if it's your recruiting skills, whatever that is, it's also necessary that you look for ways to always find a way to pull it out when everybody else thinks that you are defeated. That you've got to take personal responsibility to know that in order to become successful, you've got to make it your personal business to do it. But the next thing, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you that some of you already know that it's hard. It's not easy. It's hard changing your life. It was hard when just over 3 years ago in the Penobscot building in Detroit, Michigan, where I was operating my business, and I fell on some hard times, and I was sleeping in my office. It was hard coming into the lobby, and the security said, "Excuse me, Mr. Brown, can we see you for a moment?" And I said, "Yes." And I walked up to the counter, and he gave me an envelope. And he said, "Would you mind reading it here?" And I opened the envelope, and the envelope was from management that said, "This is an office tower. It's not a hotel. Please do not sleep in your office." And I said, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "I just work long hours in creating my business. I'm an entrepreneur. And right now, things are bad for me. But they're not going to be this way always. And I just asked for the opportunity to continue to operate like I'm doing. I'm not trying to make this my home. And it was hard coming through the lobby. And sometimes they would laugh. There's a guy talking about becoming successful. And look at him. He's bathing in the bathroom upstairs on the 21st floor. He sleeps on the floor. Him and two other dreamers up there. Look at him. It was hard, ladies and gentlemen, coming to speak to people. And I was facing financial difficulties in my own life. I was behind on my bills and my dreams, and I'm saying to them, you can live your dream. It was hard, ladies and gentlemen. It was very difficult to pick myself up each day believing that I could do it. There were times that I doubted myself. I said, God, why is this happening to me? I'm just trying to take care of my children and my mother. I'm not trying to steal or rob from anybody. Why did this have to happen to me? It was very hard. And here's what I want to say to you. For those of you that have experienced some hardships, don't give up on your dream. No one could have convinced me by holding on, by continuing to push forward, by continuing to run toward my dream, that one day I would have my own talk show. It's a long shot, ladies and gentlemen, from Liberty City, an abandoned building on a floor, never knowing my mother or father. It's a long shot. Being here with you today in this dome in Atlanta, it's a long shot. No college training, labeled educable, mentally retarded, but I kept running toward my dream. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop running toward your dream. It's very important as you hold on to that dream. There are moments when you're going to doubt yourself. There are rough times that are going to come, but they have not come to stay. They have come to pass. It's very important for you to know that. Don't say I'm having a bad day. Say I'm having a character building day. It's very important for you to believe that you are the one to make this happen. I remember this high school teacher, Mr. Leroy Washington, at the end of school one June, it was just a few days before we were supposed to leave, and I just got my report card, and it indicated that I'd failed history, and I'd failed English, and I would have to go to summer school. And I was feeling within myself that I was a failure, that I'm slower than most people in getting paperwork, and I was feeling down on myself and very negative. And Mr. Washington was giving a speech to the graduating seniors, and I was in 11th grade. And even though I wasn't supposed to be in there, I went in there because the speech he was giving, that speech was for me. And as he talked, my heart began to beat fast. Tears began to run by my eyes, and I was in the back just listening to him because he said, and he was a very dramatic man. I still talk to him to this day. He said, as graduating seniors of Booker T. Washington High School, I want you to know that you're blessed and highly favored, and that as you go toward the future, begin to know that you have greatness within you. And if just one of you here begin to envision yourselves as being blessed and highly favored to reach your goals, if just one of you capture the essence of what that means, that you have greatness within you and a responsibility to manifest that greatness, that you can make your parents proud, you can make your school proud, you can touch millions of people's lives, and the world will never be the same again because you came this way. And the students gave him a rousing standing ovation. And as he left the auditorium, I ran down the steps and I caught him in the parking lot. I said, Mr. Washington? He said, yes. I said, do you remember me, sir? He said, no. I said, my name is Leslie Brown. My mother, she works in the cafeteria here. I'm one of the twins, Leslie and Wesley. I said, Mr. Washington, but you know, I got these big dreams. You know, I like talking to people. I love people. I said, I want to work with people, and I got this dream of buying my mama a home. Could I do that, Mr. Washington? He said, it's possible, Mr. Brown. And as he walked away, I called him again. I said, Mr. Washington? He said, what do you want now? I said, I'm the one, sir. I said, I'm the one. You remember me, sir. I'm Miss Mamie Brown's boy. I'm the one. I'm the one. And you must feel that's why you're here, because you are the one. And I remember when PBS first played one of my specials called You Deserve, one Sunday afternoon in Miami, Florida. I had some friends call him to tell him to tune in. And he watched the program. He called me in Detroit, and I answered the phone. I said, hello. He said, may I speak to Les Brown, please? I said, who's calling? He said, you know who this is. I said, oh, Mr. Washington, it's you. He said, you were the one, weren't you? I said, yes, sir. He said, and you were so crazy. I said, I know, but I'm rich now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be easy. It was hard laying on the floor of the Penobscot building, looking out of the window, daydreaming, saying, Les, can you do this? Can you make this happen? I used to listen to tapes day in and day out about See You at the Top, my great friend Zig and Dennis Waitley and different other motivational speakers, and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Dexter saying, don't let nobody steal your dream. I used to ask myself, can I do this? And something said within me, you're the one. You're the one. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. While you're here, and before you go back home to your respective cities and communities, write down at least 5 reasons on why you deserve your dream, on why you won't give up, what's going to make you unstoppable, why you must be unreasonable, because logical, practical thinking says you can't do it today. But if you want to produce unreasonable results in your life, like living your dream and taking charge of your destiny, you've got to be an unreasonable person. You've got to be an uncommon person. So write down the reasons of why you're here. My first major goal was to buy my mother a home. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. What will reasons do, Les? Nietzsche said, if you know the why for doing, you can endure almost anyhow. What do you mean by that? If you know why you're doing something, when the hard times come, and they're going to come, when the disappointments and the rejections come, and they're going to come by the truckloads, your reasons will be your rod and staff to comfort you, to pick you up. Once again, I got a saying on one of my tapes, if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. Let your reasons get you back up. I remember when I bought the home for my mother, and she came out of the car. When I opened the door, I said, Mom, I think I know these people in this house. That was my first major goal. And then I couldn't conceal it anymore. I said, Mom, I got this for you. And as she went from room to room, looking at the house and saying, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. No one ever could have convinced me that this could have happened to me. And she looked at me and she said, Leslie, And you caused me so much problems as a boy. You were always into stuff. She said, no one could have convinced me that day when I walked in that house and this lady was holding you and your brother. And she said, ma'am, I want you to promise me 2 things. And she said, what is it? She says, 1, promise me that you won't separate them. She said, I want them raised together. I want them to know each other. I got pregnant while my husband was away in the war, and I can't keep them. Promise me that you won't separate them. She said, I promise I won't. I've never had children. I promise I won't separate them. And she said, promise me that you'll never tell them about who I am, because if my husband ever found out, he would kill me. She said, I promise. And she said that she gave them to us, and she kind of cried, and she was walking out the door, and she looked at my adopted mother. She said, remember, don't you separate them. She said, I swear to God, I won't separate them. I'll keep them together. And she said, as I held y'all in my arms, I never had any children of my own. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew with the help of God, I will do it. And ladies and gentlemen, my mother had a dream of having children and raising us. She didn't know how she was going to do it. You're going to be just like that. And some of you are already there. Well, you don't know how you're going to make this happen, but you just feel within yourself some way, somehow, with the help of God, I'm going to make it happen. Repeat after me, please. No matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, you got the right stuff. So yes, it's possible for you to live your dream. It's necessary that you associate with winners, that you work your system, that you are relentless, that you never give up. It's you. You've got to take personal responsibility. You've got to make it your personal business to make it happen. And you've got to resolve within yourself that I can do this, that it's hard, but you've got to say, I'm the one. I'm the one to make this happen. I'm the one to become successful in this business. As you work to help other people to become successful, that feeds your success. But you know it's going to be hard, but find out what will make it worth it for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to make your dream become reality, the people that are running at their dreams know that it's possible that you can live your dream, that it's necessary, that you're relentless, that you have a plan of action, that you are creative. The people that are living their dream of finding winners to attach themselves to. The people that are living their dreams of a people that know that if it's going to happen, it's up to them. And they're resolving within themselves, it's not over until I win. The people that are running after their dream know they're going to have hard times. They keep on running because they're saying within themselves, I'm the one. I'm the one. No matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to make it. The people that are running after their dreams are the people that are hungry. Shake somebody's hand on your right and left and say, you got to be hungry. And as you run towards your dream, I want to dedicate this to you that I love very much. I want to thank Dexter and all of you. It's something that I'm known by. It's on our tapes called Choosing Your Future, and it says simply this, that if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish, or gulf, sickness, or pain, or body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, If dogged and grim, you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you'll get it. This is Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy, Leslie Calvin Brown, saying, it's been a plum-pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. Thank you.
Ready for Revolution. Welcome, Brother Eric Teray Muhammad here on a Tuesday edition of Classes in Session. And we have been fed this afternoon from our brother and friend, Brother Les Brown. So with that being said, welcome. I've seen a lot of the comments related to the presentation. And it speaks to our spirit. It speaks to who we are. It speaks to our capacities. It speaks to our abilities. And we're going to go through some of those notes that those nuggets that were dropped, and many of us have heard portions of that presentation. It was done in Atlanta in the Dome when it existed back in the 90s. And when that presentation, when we hear it today, a lot of times we hear it in snippets, sound bites, okay, and we hear catch momentums, catch phrases, things that inspire us naturally. But a lot of times it takes context. A lot of times if we research and go back to the origins of the presentation, or we hear the full context of the presentation as opposed to just a crescendo, then we gain what's known as the balance or the backdrop or the background to the dynamic of being what we intend to be. I remember one day I was blessed to sit with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I was talking quite idealistic, you know, I'm talking about, you know, freedom, justice, and equality, how, because I understand this is to be the truth, I can have this accomplished by tomorrow morning. And I'm just ranting. I'm just really caught in the moment of understanding a revelation. And he said to me, he said, brother, do you know that if anyone truly read the full story of Jesus, or knew the full story behind Prophet Muhammad, or knew the full story behind any of the prophets, warners, or messengers, they would never get on the road? Because what's given in the scripture, this is my talking now, what's given in the scripture is the end game. The end game is given, the victory, the reward, the result of staying on the course as a result of a promise given by the Creator to that servant. And you stay the course. Many of us say, oh yeah, Moses went to the Pharaoh and said, let my people go. And then you hear how Pharaoh and his army got drowned in the Red Sea when the sea parted, and he ran out there and engulfed them. Even in the movies that were put together as we grew into television, right? And they give you all this drama and circumstance, and Yul Brynner, everybody's on there. And they show this magnificent opening of the sea and how everybody is engulfed in the waters when they get in the middle of the sea. Okay. You know, very dramatic, right? Very colorful, very sensational. You can't wait till you can see that kind of victory. But the hardships that were associated with it, the lack of belief from believers, the challenges you receive from within your own households, the things that you are ridiculed for and mocked and scorned over, but the true commitment, the formula of achieving the victory is in the full context. And we gained that, I believe, through that presentation from Mr. Brown that we watched today, because in that full context, it showed you it wasn't always easy. Here's another takeaway from me. The fact that he gave you his journey from high school to that point at the Omni. And it was 6 years. Think about this. 6 years without the social media platforms. You had to still rotary dial people. You still had to go out and drive miles and miles, hoping that people kept their appointments with you, or even if they remembered. You had to cold canvas. You had to knock, walk, and talk. You know, you did all these things in a vacuum of hope. But with all the tools that we have today, it's nothing like the road that was paved yesterday. And so he accomplished in 6 years. 6 years. He's talking to us later. He's talking to his high school teacher. 6 years later, he's letting his teacher know that he's rich. He was the one and he is rich. You see, 6 years. Many of us have been on this life, in this life now, 20, 30, 40, 60, 70, close to 80 years. Many of us are on this platform. And many of us will get hit with a tinge of challenge, a tinge of trial, a tinge of test, and we're ready to throw in the towel because it's uncomfortable, because it didn't fit the 2-hour television show, because it didn't fit the soundbite in the video. You understand? When you embrace the full context of your journey, when you understand what the road is in front of you, and then you say, I dream, I can, I will, then it is. So yesterday we did a presentation called Be the Business, right? And we showed you some of the victory, the celebration behind the life and the legacy and the majesty of Sister Fannie Lou Hamer. You know, powerful, powerful. You know, she never left the plantation and she was deemed free almost 100 years before, but she's still living on the plantation. And she fought for people's rights to vote. She fought for people's right to be equal. And she fought. You saw the beatings, you saw the suffering, you saw the challenges, but you saw her appear before the powers of the world. She left the plantation and went to Africa. And she got to witness for herself Black-run governments, Black cultures personified. She got to see legacies. She got to see things that she never thought imaginable. And she came back and all it did was fuel her fire. And then in her transition, her passing, a statue is erected bigger than life of her. And it's so magnificent that at any point that you look at it, you're looking up at her challenging the powers toward the eventual dream. And it was powerful. It was powerful. People paid the price. People have paid the price for where we are. And as a result, you have the moment of opportunity where we are now born to reap. REAP. We're born to reap. There was a imposter that came before us. An imposter that came before the children of abundance, where we were born to reap. Somebody came in and stole the birthright, and they took the same words, same letters, REAP, flipped them, and they came in RAPE. They raped. They pilfered. They stole. They plundered. They are pirates. Your bankers, your cabals, your governments, your wicked behind the scenes hidden hands, these secret societies of people who have gone around and have taken the wealth of the earth at the expense of God's people on the earth. I saw where Mark Pius posted his I don't know if that was his goal or that's what he's averaging. Because Mark is bad. He's the one, you know. Mark Pius said 35 DTPs per day equals 1.1 million a year. Okay, when you're dealing with a Les Brown yesterday, without all the trappings of technology and our ability to reach people like we have today, and he can declare 6 years into his opportunity that he was wealthy, he was rich. And here we are, we can watch it over 6 to 7 minutes and come back and have a calculation as to understanding how we can be millionaires by acquiring 35 DTPs a day, which means dual team payouts for those who don't know. For those of you who don't know, you need to find out because we enjoy them. Okay? It tells us not only the magnificence of the abundance, but it also tells us that we're the ones. We're the ones chosen for the hour and for the opportunity. Okay, I did a lot of talking. I'm supposed to go through some housekeeping rules. I guess that's housekeeping too. All right, but let's go and look at things that I need to share with us today. All right. First and foremost, each day you've seen and heard this presentation from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan about a future. And I've never commented on it. I just shared a clip, but this July 4th is going to be quite different. This July 4th, there's a presentation coming from him to the world on our website, noi.org. That's www.noi, which stands for Nation of Islam, www.noi.org. And it's titled The Criterion. And those entities that you see behind him, it speaks to a lot of the past, the present, and the future. It gives warning. He'll give other elements of guidance, God willing, and it'll be live. So 8 a.m. if you're on the West Coast of Pacific, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, and 4 p.m. in the UK. We'll be live, www.noi.org. That's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on July 4th, Independence Day of America, but it's another type of independence that you'll learn more about that day. Also, here's my screen. That's the number one objective here. Have you paid yourself first? Have you paid yourself first? Your future will thank you. Remember now, we're building legacies. And in our building of the legacy, some of you who might be here for the first time, may never heard me share this opportunity before about wealth building. Of course, many of you may have been invited by other wealth building members here, and you may not be as familiar with Karatbars International, or you're ready to get busy in establishing your legacy. Then get back to the one who introduced the opportunity to you and get you started. But I want all of us to understand that no matter where we are today, no matter what our age is today, there's another aged person inside of you waiting to take the stage. Prepare to wait for that one. If you're 60, prepare to wait for the one who's going to be 62. Prepare to wait for the one that's going to be 65. Prepare to wait for the one in you that's going to be 70 or 80 or 90. So when you take the stage at those times, you take the stage fortified and ready to live inside of your reaping. So you pay yourself first. There's generational wealth here in acquiring, in the acquisition of gold, in maintaining the gold, leveraging yourself with the gold, as well as creating exponential growth, because it will create generational wealth. So it's a process. Sister Cece Mahone, I called her yesterday because I messed up her formula so bad yesterday. I was so excited, I got tongue-tied. But what she was saying, in essence, if you save 1/10 of a gram of gold a day, over 30 days, that's over 3 grams of gold. Just save 1/10 of a gram of gold per day. You throw away $7 or $8 going to places you don't need to go, buying things you don't need to drink, eating things you don't need to eat. Just save it in gold and watch what it does for you when you pay yourself first. Watch the accumulation, watch the growth. Pay yourself first. Okay. And 10:45 today, we have our magnificent power call, 10:45 a.m. That's Eastern. 10:45 a.m. The way to change the nature of our experiences is to change the nature of our thoughts, family. The power call starts that process. I like to believe that this starts that process, classes in session, along with Lakeisha McKnight and her presentations, along with Brother Kansu Hotep Atom on his presentations, all prior to the power call. But they're geared to help us nurture new thoughts, new realities. 10:45 Eastern today, you'll hear from the magnificent Maxine Jones, www.goldrocks.info. That's our platform for all of our WBW online events. That's www.goldrocks.info. Sister Maxine Jones. And then 12 noon, we have the Wealth building presentation. Today is Tuesday. I'll be the presenter. I will be the presenter today. The presenter today at 12 noon Eastern on www.goldrocks.info. I pray that y'all find something worthy of value in what we do, and bring your guests, bring your prospects, bring you who are new affiliates, bring yourselves, and bring your family members, people that you want to help understand what it is that you're involved in. This is where it can happen. So we have our 10:45 power call. We have the 12 noon presentation at 9 p.m. We have the 9 p.m. presentation by the coach of coaches, Mr. Al Murray. And of course, our great professor on Thursday nights. I see him on the screen, Professor Gregory McKay, my man. You know, I've been following your presentations, the couples presentations, Brother Greg. Is running into our I had to catch it in replay because many are enrolled in the 90-day run to wealth that occurs on Tuesday evenings. So I catch it in replay. But as soon as we get in our hiatus, Brother Finance reached out. I'll be more than happy. My wife and I'll be more than happy to participate and learn. So www.goldrocks.info is the place to be. Tonight at 9 p.m., I am on Kafani Radio at the Gold is Gold show, and our special guest tonight is Team Destiny's own Miss Tyson Thompson out of Chicago, and we're very happy to have her and hear the wisdoms that she's looking to espouse, and we have some announcements on her behalf that she'll be making, and so we're quite excited over that program. So Kafani Radio tonight, and the mantra from Mr. Carlito Muhammad from Strong Island, New York. He says, excuses don't build empires. That's beyond a dreamer. That's a straight up doer right there, our brother Carlito. Last in the announcements, I believe, this Friday, June 19th, is the WBW testimony. We've been updated with a platform by which we'll be presenting. Mr. Dalco got this information over to me yesterday, and we're updating all of our announcements. www.wbwlive.info, Friday, June 19th, 7 p.m. Eastern. What Caraboss has done for me. This is an evening of WBW testimony. Wealth builders from all over the planet will join this platform, and they will share in their minute, 30 seconds to a minute, what Caraboss has done for them. All right, it's going to be hosted by our leadership. And the qualification, you have to have your camera on. You don't have to be pretty, but you have to be seen. We need to see you, and we need to hear from you in order for you to give your testimony. Bring all to the platform who may not understand just how powerful this is. Bring your guests, bring everybody to the platform. It's going to be enjoyed. All right. Now, getting plugged in, staying plugged in. Before that's our closeout slide. So before we close out there, let me just share with you some notes that I had taken from our presentation. Someone's opinion of you does not have to be your reality. Okay, so you challenge your fears, you challenge your comfortability, you challenge whether or not you're worthy. You have to believe in yourself. Very key ingredients. Stretching yourself, challenging yourself, looking for more ways to be more creative to produce the reality you desire. In fact, when we did our presentation yesterday, and we were talking about how you can identify those additional streams of income or additional income, or build your income within your home, within the same opportunity. This is Caraboss, folks. This is the power we have in Caraboss, because in Caraboss you have 7 platforms, and 4 of them can make you rich at any spur of the moment if you just follow that system that allows you to build upon it. So we gave you a math formula yesterday, right? Showed you how many ways you can sum $1 million. If you're working for the plantation for 40 years of your life, 25 years times 40, that's $1 million. Okay. 20 years times 50 is $1 million. $100,000, 10 years, that's $1 million. And we just broke it down all the way down to the point where we were talking about if 1,000 people purchase $1,000 product, that's $1 million. You understand? And many of us have thousands of people in our downline. If we all just save 1/10 of a gram of gold a day, that's $1 million a day. See, you have it all within your being, within your ability right now. So one thing that I did see that I thought would be interesting to share, there are many of us who are now looking, who have had businesses coming into Karatbars. My sister Beverly is a chemist. Sister Azena, she's known as the Golden Alchemist, right? Okay, so there are people who have products that they utilize as street vending and all kind of stuff. My sister, she produces soaps and cosmetics and perfumes and oils and incense, and very prominent in New York, very prominent on the streets. And then the pandemic struck. Well, with the sheltering in place, you know what's happening now? People need soap. So now she has the ability to create the soap base and do mail order. Keeps the revenue stream going, keeps the streams active, keeps the business going, and she's able to fund her Karatbars business through producing that additional stream of income. You see, so you have all within you everything you need to survive those moments, those ebbs of lack of flow. Lack of flow doesn't mean it has to stop. You know, lack is not a part of something we embrace as wealth builders, as children of abundance. So get creative with what you have and learn how to work from the safety and comfort of your home. And when people don't understand your opportunity, allow them to embrace what they do understand, but show them the power of doing it from home. When they exercise that freedom and understand that freedom, they'll now understand what you are experiencing more, and they'll gravitate towards you. All right. Choose your future. Now, when I say ready for revolution, what is the response? It's necessary. When a man stands before you and says, choose your future, that's revolution. And what has been the response throughout that presentation from Mr. Brown? It is necessary. He said, it's necessary you do X, Y, and Z. It is necessary so and so, so and so. It's necessary because it's a revolutionary thought. Change is revolution. They're synonymous. Okay? Lose the drainers of in your life. Get rid of them. Attract the hungry, the unstoppable, the unreasonable. Be willing to adjust and readjust your strategies as you move forward. Very important. Keep your commitments. Keep your word. That's all we have. When your word fails you, not because of a circumstance where you're moving to fulfill it, but your word fails you because you do it with intent. The intent of lying, the intent of stealing, the intent of cheating, the intent of just getting over. That's a credibility that doesn't come back. Your word is your bond. The only thing we have left at the end of the day is our word. Keep your word, fulfill it best you can. Truth, integrity, honesty, and commitment. Be relentless about our pursuits. That's what I have to share. And of course, remember, stay plugged in. Take a screenshot of the opportunities that are in front of you, and let's get busy, stay busy, and stay ready for revolution. I'm going to Sister Lakeisha McKnight. Then I'm going to Brother Consul Hotep Atom. Then I'm heading to the mighty power call with Sister Maxine Jones. It's Turn Up Tuesday, y'all. Mark Pius, thank you for sharing your information. Family, anywhere y'all see Mark Pius on any stream that I do or anything we do in the class and sessions, I always encourage him, and I will always say to him to please post the Financial Academy. You know, in case you don't know what that is, it's the is how you get tax informed. www.theacademyoffinancialeducation.com. All right, you'll see it in the comments whenever you see him. There's something about what he and his wife represents to you as a public, to us as wealth builders. I've learned through that education, I've learned reverse income. Oh yeah, I earned all through the year. But I also earned on the back end when I filed our taxes. Anyway, be that being said, thank you so much. Peace and power, family. I will see us all soon and very soon on the power call. Peace and power.
Peace. Strong words. Love. soul and change. Yeah, this is Big Snoop Dogg coming at you live and direct. And I got something to say. You dig?
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, oh let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
Brother, what will you discover if we come together and do it like we never? I'm just sick and tired. I'm fit to light the fire. Now put this on the wire. The devil is a liar. I do this with no hesitation. Meet me at the reservation. Elevating, educating, meditating, concentrating. Replenish ya, finish ya, opposite of sinister. And I do it for the minister.
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, oh let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
Somebody need to stop the war. Man, the war ain't overseas, it's at your front door. And I done seen too many brothers shot up on the floor for more than drugs and some colors. And now you call us warlords. But if you can help it, then help it. But you ain't helping us. You so selfish and selfless, you wanna see us breathless and helpless. But I'ma hustle to tussle for all my brothers who struggle. Yeah, we bang the world. Now let's change the world.
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, oh let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
No killing, no shooting, no dying, no lying, no gang banging, so no more mamas crying. Everybody get along, man, that be the perfect song. Peace in the streets as I sit back on my phone, chilling with the president. He let me in the White House, back to the castle with the minister. No doubt, shoes at the front door. Love is what you come for. Let's get it right and unite, but do it
Let's
first.
change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, oh let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.